Books literally saved my life when I was 13 years old. I want you to picture this. Here I am, a girl averaging C's and D's and a few F's my entire school career up until that point, living with adults who had already written me off and had made it crystal clear. No one was betting on my future, including me. And yet I was terrified that I wouldn't make anything of myself, that I'd never make my family proud, and that I simply wouldn't matter. And there was something deep inside me that told me that I was destined for more than this, that I was put on this earth to serve and to be in contribution. So I listened. And 1 month before my 14th birthday, in August of 1993, I sat on my bedroom floor with a red notepad and asked myself the most important question of my life. What are you willing to do to turn this around? And my answer changed everything. Whatever it takes to get smart, whatever it takes to get into college. This was such a defining moment. It changed the complete trajectory of my life. But then came the harder question, because it's one thing to have a vision, and it is one thing to decide. It's another thing to know how. The question was, how are you going to do this when failure is all you've ever really known? But the answer hit me like lightning. Read. Read your way out of this situation. Read like your life depends on it. And that's exactly what I did. Between the ages of 13 and 18 years old, I devoured 3 to 4 books every single week. I read my way to straight A's. I read my way to a 4.9 GPA and 3 full-ride academic scholarships to great colleges. But here's what I discovered throughout junior high and high school. Books didn't just change my grades. They changed my entire identity. They became my refuge, my teacher, my escape, and my pathway to a completely different life. The power of the right book at the right time, it doesn't just give you information, it gives you transformation. And as I'm about to release my 9th book, The Perimenopause Revolution, I'm reminded why books matter so much. They're the most accessible first step to reclaiming your power at a price point that most people can afford. They deliver life-changing insights directly into your hands. I just want you to take a moment and think about the books that have transformed your life so far. Today, I want to share 7 books that have the power to completely transform your life in 2025. And what I'm so excited about is that it's the summertime, right? This is the perfect time to dive into 1, 3, maybe 4 of these books, especially if you love to listen to Audible. Now, these 7 books aren't just great reads. They're turning points for the authors who wrote them, for the women who picked them up at just the right moment. Each was born out of a deeply personal experience, grief, burnout, reinvention, awakening, and that's what makes them so freaking powerful. They aren't abstract theories, they are lived truths. Just like my book. My book is a lived truth, let me tell you. So whether you're feeling stuck, disconnected, or simply ready for more, these books will meet you where you are and help you to rise up. Now, because if a 13-year-old girl sitting on her bedroom floor, feeling like she was up against the world, could read her way to a completely different life, imagine what's possible for you. Now, a quick note about these books that I'm about to share with you is that they are in no particular order. My intention with this book list is that you have a new book or 2 or 4 to add to your summer reading list, because this is my favorite time of the year to read. Although I love reading all year long. I love reading in the summer, the fall, the winter. I mean, sign me up for a really great book. And since we are stepping into the second half of 2025, I wanted to give you books that inspired you to reclaim your big, beautiful life this year and the many years to come. Now, first up on this book list is a book that I started reading at the beginning of the year. And I immediately resonated with the message, especially as a midlife woman redefining myself on my terms. I have listened to this book 2 times so far this year, and I plan to dive in again soon. It's just one of those books that you can keep going back to again, kind of remind yourself of who you are and who you are becoming. Now, I am not alone in loving this book. This book has sold close to 5 million copies since December 2024. Yeah, 7 months ago. And it could even be more than that, but I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, it's 5 million copies. And it's been the #1 book worldwide almost the entire year. So can you guess which book this is? I have a feeling you can. It is Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Man, Mel wrote Let Them during a raw, emotional season of letting go. She was in her 50s, navigating betrayal and realizing how much energy she was spending trying to fix, please, and manage other people's opinions or just other people's lives. What started as a quiet personal mantra, just let them, became a global rally cry. So I just want to share a quick excerpt in this book, which is let them judge you, let them walk away, let them be who they are. You keep being you. So what you're going to walk away with this book, freedom. I mean, if there was a word to describe this book, it's freedom. You'll learn to stop over-explaining, over-managing, and stop shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable. You'll walk away with more energy, more clarity, and more inner peace than you have felt in years. So why is this book worth reading? Because midlife, right now, for many of us, is the perfect time to stop performing and start protecting your peace. Let you become who you were always meant to be. I highly recommend this. I love this book on Audible. I have the hard copy and the Audible copy. Just if you know me in my personal sphere, you know that I read a lot of Audible books, and I'm going to be sharing here, although I was reading 3 to 4 books a week back in my teenage years, I average about 5 books a week right now at 45 years old. Leading me to the second book, another book that I read this year, probably around the same time. I want to say that this book I finished or started and finished, I think in 2 days or 3 days at the end of January. It's called The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And what I loved about this book, was that I was looking for a really great story. This book actually came recommended from a dear friend of mine. And as I mentioned, I read the book in 3 days and immediately recommended it to 10 people. I love recommending books. Like, you can holler at me on Instagram or find me on the street or on an airplane, and I have got a book list for you. Obviously, it's why I'm doing this podcast today, right? This book is about regret and how to choose to live a life that you love if you choose to dare to try. Author Matt Haig wrote this after surviving a near suicidal depression in his 20s. It was his way of processing regret, identity, and the question we all ask, what if I had chosen differently? Writing this novel was part of his healing journey, and it became a healing book for millions. A quick excerpt: you don't have to understand life, you just have to live it. So what you'll walk away with in this book. I think the word to define this book is hope. This novel offers a radical reframe of regret. You'll start to see your current life with fresh eyes and realize that you are not that far off course as you feared. You're just one decision away from a new direction and a life that is filled with joy and deep gratitude. I know that's what I walked away from this book. I thought to myself, what am I still holding on to that I can let go of? What am I tolerating right now in my life? And what do I want the second half of my life to look like, right? If it wasn't met with regrets. And so it's just a beautiful book that I know you will get so much out of. So why is this book worth reading? Because it's never too late to begin again. And this book is a beautiful reminder of the truth in that most beautiful way, right? That we can always restart, and we can do it with love and light and on our terms. Book number 3 is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I've read this book 3 times since I picked it up in I'm going to say my early 30s, because it's a timeless story about pursuing one's dreams and listening to one's heart. It's simple but profound, weaving spiritual wisdom and personal transformation into a beautiful short novel. The journey of Santiago, a shepherd who follows a dream across continents, resonates with anyone who's ever questioned their purpose or longed for something more. The Alchemist encourages readers to trust the process, recognize meaningful signs, omens, and understand that the treasure they seek is often closer than they think. This is not just a story. It's a gentle nudge towards courage, clarity, and self-discovery. And I would say manifestation. Whether you're at a crossroads or just need inspiration, this book speaks to the soul in a very unforgettable way. Paula wrote this book in literally 2 weeks, feeling completely possessed by inspiration. But after it was published, his first publisher dropped it. They wouldn't sell any more copies. It had only sold a few hundred copies in its first year, and they just didn't feel like it was worth holding on to. But he believed in it anyway. And today, it has sold over 65 million copies worldwide. I mean, how incredible is that? So, quick excerpt from this book. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. So what you'll walk away with, trust. You'll remember that your soul is always guiding you, and that detours, delays, and challenges are always a part of the journey. This book reconnects you to your inner compass, that North Star that is driving you forward. And why I think this book is worth reading? Because so many women in midlife feel disconnected from their purpose, from what they want to do in their life. And this book really deeply invites you to listen, trust, and begin. So if you haven't read The Alchemist yet, I highly recommend it. It is on all the lists, right? All the top book lists, because it is such a beautiful story and it will shape you. Book number 4, Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein. Now, I bought this book and read it immediately when it came out. I had read a few other Gabrielle Bernstein books, but there was something about Super Attractor that just drew me in. And then I bought the Audible book to listen to her read it. By the way, as I mentioned, if you haven't gotten the memo, I am obsessed with audiobooks, and I honestly can't wait to record my own book for the first time later this month. I just knew that the Perimenopause Revolution needed my voice. So I'm going to be in a studio for 3 to 4 days recording this book for you. It's going to be available wherever audiobooks are sold. Where I land when it comes to audiobooks is definitely Audible. Now, Super Attractor isn't just a book. It is an energetic recalibration. If you've ever felt disconnected from your flow, uncertain about your path, or stuck in fear-based thinking, this book helps you shift into alignment with the life that you truly want to create. I come back to this book over and over again because, man, she has so many incredible practical tools to implement so that you really do feel like you are shifting into alignment. She offers visualization, meditation, and surrender practices that go beyond vague manifestation advice. She helps you anchor into a deeper spiritual trust while also guiding you to release control, stop forcing the outcomes, and start magnetizing joy, ease, and abundance. Even as I'm sharing this with you, I'm like, I got to go back and read this book. It is always on my nightstand because I love to pick it up and just choose a chapter before bed. Now, what's interesting about this book is that Gabrielle Bernstein had wrote this after hitting a wall. Despite her success, she was exhausted and spiritually disconnected. She realized that she had been chasing goals with masculine controlling energy, and it was making her sick. This book marked her surrender into a softer, more aligned way of living, and it is available to all of us. So a quick excerpt, probably one that I love the most, is when you align with love, you become a super attractor. So what you'll walk away from with this book is alignment. You'll feel empowered to stop pushing and start allowing. You'll gain tools to manifest from a place of joy, intuition, and peace rather than hustle and stress. And honestly, who doesn't want that? Like, sign me up. So why this book is worth reading? Because your energy, your capacity matters more than your effort. And it's time to feel good again. You get to feel good in this lifetime, today and tomorrow. And if you need a beautiful reminder of that, this book is it. All right. Probably the book I've been most excited to share with you. And I just giggle about it. And that is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So I want to just take you back to last spring of like the end of March 2024. And I was in a very dark place, recovering from high levels of mold, knee deep in a costly remediation of our house in multiple rooms, and barely holding it together under the weight of chronic stress. On one especially hard day, I remember just breaking down in tears. I was probably in my late luteal phase. And I knew that I needed something, anything, to pull me out of this reality. I hadn't read fiction in a long time. It had been like 3 to 4 years. So I'd forgotten what it felt like to escape into another world. But something inside me whispered, go find a fiction book. So I opened up Amazon and I searched for the top fiction books at the time. And one stood out with over 200,000 reviews. I was like, okay, if this book has 200,000 reviews, no matter what the reviews are, it is worth checking out. So I read the description and it said dragon riders. And I love dragons. I love fantasy. I loved Game of Thrones. And so that was all I needed. Sign me up. I downloaded it on Audible and fell headfirst into the world of Fourth Wing. Now, what I didn't know about this book, it would open the door to an entire genre I never knew I needed. Romantic fantasy? Hell yes. A year later, 155 books later, I can say that without a doubt, these stories have changed my life. And here's what I realized, especially after talking with so many women who've discovered reading like I did. Romantic fantasy gives us something sacred, a portal into possibility. These stories awaken parts of us we've silenced: desire, courage, imagination, self-trust. They remind us that we're allowed to want more from life, from love, and from ourselves. So if you're exhausted, numb, or just yearning to feel something again, pick up Fourth Wing or any of these titles, right? A Court of Thorn and Roses, Quicksilver, When the Moon Hatched, Spark of the Everflame. Honestly, there are so many of these books out there selling millions of copies. This is a movement. These books carry you home to yourself and open the door to community. I think that's been the most incredible thing about these books is the community that I have created. Book club communities are booming right now, and I have almost started a book club a few times this year and even last year because I'm telling you, okay, if I have read 155 books since last March, like the end of March, let's just say last April, you can tell that I'm pretty into this. And so I am so excited about starting a book club. But here's the thing, I still have a book to launch in October of 2025, this October. So I'm going to wait until after the Perimenopause Revolution is out on bookshelves to finally announce my book club. Now, currently, Rebecca Yarros has written 3 books in this series. It's going to be a 5-book series: Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm. And I believe that she has sold over 15 million copies in 3 years. Isn't that wild? These books have caught the world by storm. And at the time, she was navigating deep personal shifts in her life and uncertainty when she wrote Fourth Wing. She was going to actually stop writing, I believe. So this was an act of catharsis, writing about a woman underestimated by everyone who discovers her strength in the fire of adversity. It is powerful. So I want to quickly read an excerpt. There's lots of excerpts from this book. But a dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead. So what you're going to walk away with this book or any romantic fantasy, right? You're going to walk away with fire. You'll remember what it feels like to root for yourself, to rise in the face of fear, to prove even to yourself that you are still powerful, still capable, and still worthy of more. So why this book is worth reading, right? I call this the gateway drug into romantic fantasy. Because too many women in midlife feel like their fighting days are behind them. This book says not even close. Plus, the book boyfriends in these books, oh my goodness. Oh, I even have a rating system for my book boyfriends. I'm not sharing that with you today. That's not what this conversation is all about. But just if you want to reach out, I will let you know. All right, that leads me to book number 6, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This book, my goodness, Big Magic by Elizabeth is a must read because it is liberating, joyful. It's a permission slip to live a more creative and fearless life. This book isn't just for artists or writers. It's for anyone who's ever felt the stir of an idea, but silenced it with doubt, fear, or perfectionism, right? So many of us. Big Magic reminds us that creativity is not a luxury. It's a part of being alive. Gilbert shares how to dance with fear rather than be ruled by it, how to trust inspiration, and how to create from sheer joy of just creating. And I believe that this is our ultimate calling as women, to create from our innate creation energy, right? We have powerful creation energy. I mean, we 3D print people, or we can, right? So let's leverage that energy. Big Magic doesn't demand hustle or suffering. It invites curiosity, play, and radical self-trust. It's a spiritual pep talk wrapped in real talk. I loved this book so much. And it's beautiful. I love the cover. If your soul is whispering for more expression, more joy, or more courage, Big Magic is the nudge that you didn't even know you needed. Now, a little bit about what Elizabeth Gilbert was going through at the time that she wrote Big Magic, right? We knew after the massive success of Eat, Pray, Love, which I have read many times, Elizabeth was paralyzed by fear. Would she ever write something as good again? Big Magic was her way of breaking through perfectionism, fear, and shame and reclaiming joy in the creative process. And right, she has gone on to write more books. I believe she's releasing a book right now. A quick excerpt from the book. Do you have the courage to bring forth the treasures that are hidden within you? So what you'll walk away with, courage. To create, to express, to try something new. You'll learn how to partner with inspiration, not hustle and pressure, and how to enjoy the process, not just chase the outcome. And why I believe this book is worth reading, because your creativity will never disappear. It just needs permission to reemerge, right? If you don't feel like you're even a creative person, I recommend reading this book and let it reignite that creative fire. And then last but not least is Untamed by Glennon Doyle. And I know that she has a new book out. I believe it's called We Can Do Hard Things. This was another book I bought immediately when it was released because it felt refreshing and empowering at the same time. And honestly, I really needed it. This book is a fierce, soul-shaking wake-up call to stop living the life that you were taught to want and to start living the one that you were born to live. Untamed strips away the shoulds, the roles, the people-pleasing, the beliefs, and invites you back into your own knowing, to the wild, intuitive voice within that has been buried under years of expectations. It's raw, honest, and filled with stories that will crack you open in the best way. I deeply resonate with the stories, especially about old beliefs that we've been taught, that we have a hard time putting down, and how that impacts our relationships. Glennon doesn't just write about empowerment, she embodies it. Her journey through divorce, motherhood, falling in love, and redefining her truth gives women permission to do the same, to question everything, to trust their inner voice, and to stop abandoning themselves. If you've ever felt like living a life that's almost, but not quite yours, Untamed will remind you, you can choose again. You can always come back to you and choose you. So a quick little thing about what Glennon was going through at the time that she decided to write Untamed, and she talks about this in the book. Glennon had just blown up her life, divorcing her husband and falling in love with soccer star Abby Wambach. She was facing public scrutiny, personal transformation, and the realization that her entire life had been built around pleasing others. Untamed was her reclamation. And man, did this book roar. A quick excerpt from the book that I loved. You are not crazy. You are a goddamn cheetah. Now, what you'll walk away with is reclamation. This book will shake you awake. You will walk away with the courage to question every story you've ever been told about who you should be. And man, is there a time to be just taking stock in the beliefs that are holding us back and really start living who you really are. Why I believe this book is worth reading if I haven't sold it already. Because too many women have forgotten how wild and powerful they truly are. This book is a beautiful reminder and a challenge to become yourself again, to come home to yourself. These books changed the authors who wrote them. They've changed millions of readers, and they have the power to change you if you're willing to pick up the book and open the page. And that's what I hope with my upcoming book that it does for you as well. You know, the Perimenopause Revolution is not just a guide. It's a wake-up call and a rally cry, a reclamation in its own right, a full-body reminder that your next chapter can be stronger, clearer, and more energized than anything that you've lived before on your terms. I feel like that is the through line for so many of these books, is that this gets to be on your terms. You get to be discerning. You get to decide the life that you want to live moving forward. And it really starts with you deciding, and it starts to just lock and load on your health. I wrote this book because I am living it. I've hit the wall. I questioned everything, and I finally rewrote my story. Now I want to help you do the same, and I'm going to give you all the science-backed tools and strategies to do it, again, on your terms. This is about thriving through the second half of our lives, because when women feel alive, aligned, and energized, we don't just exist. We transform our families, our communities. We transform the world. It's time to stop accepting depletion as our destiny. It's time to reclaim our vitality, our power, and our joy. Because the truth is, this chapter of our lives isn't about fading away. It's about stepping deeper into our full power. And we can do this together. Now, you can pre-order the Perimenopause Revolution right now and unlock over $500 worth in incredible transformational bonuses that will give you the results that you want now. From recipes and workouts to sleep and mindfulness rituals, I promise you, I know what you're looking for. I know how to help create that transformation, and I am going to set you up to win in less than 7 days. So go to drmariza.com, drmariza.com/book. Go pre-order the book and instantly get your bonuses. Thank you again for listening. Now go start your next chapter with a book that transforms you. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. And if you are ready to learn more about perimenopause and how to navigate with a lot of ease and grace, be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can join our community. Don't forget to share this video with someone that you love, that you know is navigating the perimenopause journey as well, because they deserve to feel their best too. See you in the next video.